I mean, normally I would just let him out and he'd go to the fence, but. So that's my fun story.
It was fun. So much fun. Oh.
I may or may not turn into a vampire.
Well, we'll see.
Jamie, is this all ready to go? Okay.
I'm going to pull that one screen over.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in COVID protocol.
You gotta say what's going on.
Yeah.
Just because you had to go on your trip?
No, well, they gave me
Oh,
options to not go, but
Oh, you didn't want to go anyway.
I know it, man. How's that?
Oh, sorry.
I sat in the room for 3 hours shoulder to shoulder with somebody on Monday that tested positive Tuesday. Afternoon, Mayor.
How are you?
I'm in COVID protocol.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. You're ahead of me.
Thought we had a
Can I
meeting.
say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get
Like
that?
I sat in the room for 3 hours with a dude Monday,
Get the big
shoulder to
monitor?
shoulder, and tested positive Tuesday.
You don't have to hand it on it.
When did he test positive?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday.
Well, the
I
video.
was there for 3
It's
hours
like, well, I'm
Monday
really
afternoon.
glad that it wasn't like last Monday when we were jammed in the
Because
conference.
there's no.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. So it was, now the new rules are mask up
5
and
days.
monitor symptoms.
5 days.
But I've had this wedding in St. Louis I've been trying to avoid.
Oh, are you gonna?
I have options now.
You got the good excuse.
All I gotta do is get the sniffles and I'm out.
I'm gonna stay away. I'm going to see my mom.
All right, please do.
Yeah. Everything else good?
Yeah, I talked about it.
Yeah, I walked out. I was walking in when Conley was walking out. He was wearing a mask.
Yeah, he was in the same meeting I was in.
You're feeling all right then?
Yeah, we were chatting this morning. Conley and I know it was weird. They got the call like lunch yesterday, and then felt fine. But like at 3:30, I'm like, I'm pretty sure my throat hurts.
See, then it's just psychosomatic.
Exactly what
I
it
think
is.
it is. I mean, it's
Like when somebody's having a heart attack. Oh, I'm sore. Oh, it's moving to my arm. Oh, my back's tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's still qualifications.
Yeah.
Good.
You're traveling this weekend too, right?
Yeah, I'm going to see my mom
When you heading out?
tomorrow. I've got a board meeting.
David.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, how about you?
You sound good on the radio.
One week call.
Uh-oh.
Two, so I figured it out.
Check the box. Got through
It
it.
takes 2 days to drive.
He's out, Trenton.
Oh, were you?
I drove to Jackson.
They always,
Oh, that's just.
We don't
they
own
do a
it.
good job with it.
I was in the studio,
Like no
because they were going to be gone.
I mean,
Yeah.
everything's 2-lane roads and you're
Yeah,
going through details.
Yeah, what part of Chicago? Or Michigan?
So right here.
Like I said,
That's always fun.
yeah, it's fun. They're great
Right
guys.
They,
Yeah.
it is,
City Site.
is they do a good job.
Yeah.
FBI.
And you're not under time constraints, so you can
No.
play
Yeah.
with
City
each
Site.
other.
In fact, when you fly in.
And you know,
Well, and
they're not trying to catch
Yeah,
us.
she gave me that little message.
yeah.
They're doing another
no,
meeting.
really, they just, I mean,
They're just curious.
Trenton will, he'll probe and,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
you know.
And you can play back.
down.
That one was what they sent me.
Does he work with your bank?
So you're not sure you're going to go to the.
He,
I think he works with everybody.
I think he works with everybody.
They work with everybody.
Yeah.
It's a Friday.
Yeah.
And they've got projects in everybody's city and,
They're involved in so many different partnership entities.
I enjoy. The only thing I didn't like about it as a real estate guy is that they always promote their projects first.
Yes.
Recently has been
So,
in
They're talking about their tenants, their investors. I'm like,
Yeah. Even when they're talking about a city, they're going to highlight their items.
exactly.
That's why they got the radio show.
but they're paying. Yeah, I was
They're
like,
paying for it.
anybody else can do it.
That show is just a big advertisement for
well, yeah,
them.
because
is.
I mean, anything that's.
Once I got over it, because I'd be like, well, what about this project and that project and my stuff?
I always try to throw things in
Yeah,
there.
Oh, I do.
I do it all the time.
And you can't wait for that. No, you just have,
Just keep jumping in.
sometimes you have to interrupt them. And
As long as
You know,
have-
someday I want to meet your kids because
So anyway,
That's
yeah.
the thing about that format.
And they-
You literally can interrupt them and take the conversation.
Yes.
They got to try to get back.
And the thing is
When he went to college.
they are just wanting Jeff, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Bills is
Yeah, that's a fun story.
such an organized
Come back to me.
individual and
Trenton's old school.
quiet. And of course, Trenton is just Trenton, you know, but.
Last time I was on, it was with.
like I
We're ready.
Okay.
And so we have
Yeah, welcome everyone to the Sarpy County and City's Wastewater Agency meeting. It's Wednesday, March 23rd at 4:01 p.m. Copy of Nebraska Open Meeting Act rules are on the north wall of the boardroom, agency room, and we'll hold the meeting in accordance with those. Today I expect all 6 members to be present, although Mayor Roseland from Springfield is running a couple minutes late. Got Mayor Evans from Gretna, Mayor Kendig from La Vista, Mayor Hike from Bellevue, Mayor Black from Papillion. I'm Don Kelly. I represent Sarpy County. We also have our agency administrator, Dan Hoins, our agency treasurer, Phil Green, our agency engineer, Jeff Thompson, our agency secretary, Lisa Hare. If you would, silence your cell phones and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Announcements, comments, any of the agency members have any comments? Dan, anything? I'll just get them in your comments.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, we'll jump right into the consultant and staff reports. Dan, you're up first, agency administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member mayors. Just real briefly, continue to put a lot of bandwidth working with your administrators on, I try to search for the right word, I'm just going to go an update of the growth management policies. Attendant to that is the potential redrawing of some boundaries for some areas that your folks think will grow sooner than later in those allocations. And so that's pretty much a heavy lift with the administrators have been doing. The only other update I have, Mr. Chair, member mayors, is we've finalized April 20th as the date for the groundbreaking. I should have had some save the dates come out. We're getting a really robust response and hope to make that a real noteworthy event that gets some public recognition that in the very near future we're going to have sewer in southern Sarpy County. That concludes my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dan. Adam Charlsen, agency attorney.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. As Dan alluded to, we've spent the last several weeks, actually a little longer than that, working on an update to the growth management plan and its policies. We sent over a pretty robust update draft to your administrators late last week. We hope to have a good conversation to kick that off tomorrow with them. A number of the edits, like Dan said, is cleaning up boundaries and things that are more administrative, kind of clean up things rather than come to the board for, move the line an inch, things like that. And then we're kind of conforming some things to our current practice. I've been doing this for a couple years now under the existing plan. We've found some efficiencies and things that, made things a little smoother. And so we've made some edits to kind of propose some edits that will kind of make that a little easier for us all going forward. The land rights discussions are ongoing. We're working with Midwest and HDR and supporting them and Jeff Thompson on those efforts. And then the next kind of heavy lift for the next few weeks is going to be working on, if approved today, the CMAR contract, and then the odds and ends questions that come up related to developments and growth management plans. But those are the big 3 items. If you have questions for me.
Questions for Adam? Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Engineering, Leanne Ziettlow from HDR.
Thanks, Lisa. Leanne Ziettlow for HDR, giving you an update on what we've been doing the last month. Today's topic is all about 95%. So we're getting close to the end on basically all of the projects. Starting from the left, obviously, Springfield is under construction right now. But the other packages are either at 95% designed and complete, or will be delivered at 95% complete here shortly, or have been reviewed by the agency and will be submitted to NDE for permitting. So as we walk across the lift stations, We've got the comments from the agency, and we'll be submitting 95% plans to NDE for the construction permit here in the next couple of weeks. Same thing on number 3, the ZC3 interceptor sewer. We've gone through the 95% comments from the agency. We're wrapping those in, and we'll get those to NDE here in the next couple of weeks. And then on the force main, starting from the east, we've had those at 100%, and we're working on comments that we got back from NDE on those. The other 3, sections 1, 2, and 3, they're either at 95% or we've reviewed 95% with the agency. So working with Jeff, we want to go ahead and submit all of those to get a construction permit from NDE, so we continue to do that. There's not a lot of design work left, so our efforts are kind of winding down. Talk a little bit more about our coordination with CMAR, depending on how that goes. As far as permitting, I've talked about the 404 and the 408. Both of those were submitted to the Corps back in November, so we're just waiting game at this point in time. We did get an update last month that the 408 was about half reviewed, so we try to call them every once in a while, but we try not to bug them as well. So we'll continue to keep in coordination with the Corps, but hopefully in April we'll see something from them. As Adam noted, we've been helping Jeff and Dan with CMAR, and I think that's an item that will come up on the board today as well. Also assisting Steve Jensen with the Phase 1B items, and then continuing to coordinate with our Platteview Road folks on their design. That's what we've been doing this month.
Questions for Leanne? Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 2 items on the consent agenda, the meeting minutes from last month and our claims report. Unless any of the agency members want to see those moved and discussed on the regular agenda, I'll take a motion to approve as published.
Motion to approve, Bellevue.
Second.
Motion by Bellevue, second by La Vista. Any comments or questions? Please vote.
Yeas 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, into the regular agenda, the first item is Resolution 10, approving a third amendment to the agreement between Sarpy County and the city's wastewater agency and HDR for professional engineering services. Jeff Thompson, agency project engineer.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. Agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson, agency project engineer. HDR approached us with a amendment to their current services agreement for services that had previously been rendered prior to my appointment with the agency. Nonetheless, had a lot of questions on my behalf associated with that. Long and short of it, without getting into a tremendous amount of detail, the Platteview Road alignment had significant changes, and the force main system had to follow those changes. In order for us to keep pace and keep up with that, there was some additional topography. Working through land rights, we had some additional easements that had to be written and coordinated with other property owners outside of what we had already completed. So this request is for an amendment to cover the cost of their subconsultant to provide those services to date. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions for Jeff? Motion, please.
I'll make a motion. Second, Bellevue.
Motion by Springfield, second by Bellevue. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Please vote.
Yeas 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay. Thank you. Item 4 is Resolution 11, authorizing negotiations with Hawkins Construction Company for construction management at-risk contract for portions of Phase 1A of the Unified Southern Sarpy Wastewater System. Jeff.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. I just wanted to take a brief moment to just outline the CMAR process. As you're well aware, we've been dual tracking this process with the traditional design bid build. As Leanne stated, Most of the project design plans are at about 95%. Traditionally, we'd start this process with a contractor sometime around the 30%, if not at the very initial stages of the project. Unfortunately, state law up until last year in August didn't allow us to use this process with water and wastewater projects. When the state law changed, we felt it was appropriate to at least consider this as a means forward with all the different packages and coordination efforts that are going to have to happen with this project. So just a brief outline. Again, this was statutory requirements that were outlined and set forth for this process. You approved in January the selection committee for this process. Chairman Kelly, you were on that committee, as well as Vice Chairman Kidnig. We also had Administrator Hoins on that committee, Wastewater and Solid Waste Superintendent Epiphany Ramos from Bellevue, and then we had Sarpy County Springfield resident Jerry Webster. As I understand it, Jerry also sits on the Planning Commission in Springfield and is a construction manager of some sort with OPPD. Myself was on the committee, and then we had Amber Powers with the city of Papillion representing, and then we had Leanne sit in as well as an advisory role on that. So the interviews were conducted and completed last Monday on the 14th. We deliberated for quite some time as a committee. It was a qualification-based selection. Price didn't play or isn't supposed to play a part in the selection of this company, so we interviewed 4 firms, and I'm pleased to announce that Hawkins Construction rose to the top of that process. Some things that are notable in their interview, they brought some very detailed value engineering solutions to the table that we'd like to consider moving forward with HDR, see if we can't save some overall money in cost for the project. They had a great strategic plan and well thought out project approach. As you're well aware, with the different segments of the project, segment 4 and segment 3 are on the downstream end of the project, as well as the Ziettlow Creek is upstream of those 2 segments. Something they proposed was getting those 2 segments under construction immediately in July, actually, of this year, all things being equal, and we can get materials and whatnot, and try to get that up and operational and into service for a couple of the agency member groups before the rest of the system's fully functional, which would allow some revenue generation on the front end of things. So was a great idea, and something that certainly pushed them up over the top. They did provide us with a high-level schedule. Again, as I said, they planned on starting construction in July of this year, 2022, hopefully having the segment 3 section and 4 done by 2023. And then the Ziettlow Creek, hopefully late 2023, and then the rest of the work completed by April of 2024. They also retained a consulting firm, a legal consulting firm, to digest and dissect the CFR regulations associated with some of our SRF loan funding in advance of the interview, and brought to the table some great legal perspective associated with that, so we're in complete compliance with the SRF loan, and we don't jeopardize any loss of funding there. One other item that they brought to the table, they had already secured a site of 38 acres for staging and laydown for the materials, so that shouldn't be a problem. This is a linear project with not a lot of right-of-way and temporary easements, so having a site location to pre-procure materials and things of that nature to lay things down was really important, and they'd already thought that through. And of course, they're a local firm. They've been around the Omaha metro area for quite some time. So the resolution you have here this afternoon before you is to allow us to negotiate a contract or start negotiations with a contract with Hawkins. You'll also note that as part of that negotiation, there's really 2 kind of steps in this process. There's the pre-construction services and then the construction phase services. Pre-construction, they really act as more of a consulting firm to the designers and kind of talking through some of the value engineering, constructability, availability of materials, and those types of things. As part of this resolution, we'd like to ask that you consider approving them to start the pre-construction services so that we're not stalled out on the design and we can keep pressing forward with permitting and those kinds of things. The next thing you'll see before you is the construction or the actual contract for Hawkins, and then following that, they'll do some guaranteed maximum pricing and things of that nature, real pricing, not estimates of pricing. It's market condition pricing. They'll bring that to us, and then at that point, we would come back with an amendment to the agreement to secure that pricing, which basically says they won't spend anything more than that dollar amount. I have with me this evening, or afternoon rather, Chris Grogan, who is the Vice President and Project Executive with Hawkins Construction. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any, or Chris is here as well. Thank you.
Questions?
Jeff, with the resolution that we've got on our agenda, did I misunderstood that you would want that amended to give them the okay to go ahead with pre-construction work?
We would work with them on a contract, a small contract basis that Chairman Kelly or yourself would be able to sign it before the next meeting, so that we can keep them rolling and get them started right away on looking at the plans and specifications and whatnot. So I guess this would authorize you to.
That authorization's in the resolution.
Correct.
That was your question.
That's in there?
Yeah. So no need to amend.
Okay.
Sorry, I misunderstood your question.
You were just building a watch, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm a detail guy, I'm sorry. Somebody's got to be, right, Dan?
Yeah.
True that.
Chris, want to come up and say a few words?
Chris Grogan with Hawkins Construction Company, Vice President. We commend the agency for going down utilizing the CM at risk delivery method. We think this is obviously very unique and one of a kind in the state, and you guys will be the first to utilize this in the state for this type of project. So we do commend you for that. I think there's a lot of value that is realized by this method, and we are certainly looking forward to teaming with the agency and the county to deliver this project successfully for everybody. I think it's going to be great. It's a transformational project, obviously, for the entire county, and we're happy to be a part of it. So we thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I may, Mr. Chair, while Chris is here, as being part of the committee, and it was competitive. We qualified firms, and there was a lot of debate, but it strikes me, I want to share the story that when Chris and his team came in and we did our introductions, I don't know if it's scripted or not, but it was very impactful to me, Chris. You took a breath, you looked up, and you closed your eyes and you opened them, and you said, I have constructed this project 100 times in my mind the last year. I thought and it showed throughout your team the commitment that Hawkins has had for at least 2 years to this project. And so from my perspective, made an easy choice. I don't know, Chairman Kelly and Mayor Kindig were on there. I don't know if you got any other insight, but while it was close, this is the best company for this agency, my perspective.
So just to be fair, Chris, I have to tell you that I've given Jeff Thompson a box of well-sharpened pencils that you guys as you go into the we're always looking for a place to cash a $5 check, me and this guy, so we really know you're going to be competitive, but that's a keen interest to us too.
Absolutely.
And we know you got the engineering wired.
Well, if it's been built 100 times in his mind, we get a bulk discount.
That's right.
We should save some engineering.
Don't tell Leanne.
Chris, what made a difference for me, obviously, it's important to be a local company, but it's got to be a qualified local company, and I think that's what we came to. And you talked about the use of your subcontractors and your relationships with those already in the Omaha market.
Correct, yeah.
And it may seem somewhat cliche, maybe every company could say it, but you talked about your reputation, and you talked about how you can control your subcontractors because the work they do is going to affect your reputation also. Mm-hmm. And I think that along with a number of other factors and stuff, but that is one thing that I remember during the interview was the reputation. And you've got two individuals that live in Sarpy County, and to be honest,
That's right.
if we have questions, you can't run from us.
No, I'm sure we have a lot more than that in the company, actually.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, and I would like to take the opportunity to ask Travis at least to stand. Part of the Hawkins team. Did I get everybody from Hawkins? Like, it was just you two? Travis came to the CMAR processes with a 7-day-old baby.
Oh, that's right.
And so now he's sitting here 14 days plus.
Trying to stay away. Sleep's limited.
So it's his dedication.
Commitment to project.
That's right, yes. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Better take a vote first.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you never know who's holding back up here.
I'd make a motion. I'd make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Papillion and a second by Bellevue. Any questions or comments or discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays, none, motion carried.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 5 is Resolution 12 authorizing the board chair and vice chair to execute land rights purchase agreements and related instruments for certain tracts of land owned by PCS Nitrogen. Adam Charlsen, agency attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the resolution before you states, we're looking for this board's authorization to enter into a land rights purchase agreement for an amount not to exceed $3,160 for temporary and permanent easement rights from the PCS Nitrogen property.
Questions for Adam? Motion, please.
Motion by Bellevue.
I'll second.
A motion by Bellevue, second by Springfield. Discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays, none, motion carried.
Okay, our next meeting's going to be April 27th, and just another reminder for April 20th for the groundbreaking somewhere in the vicinity of Springfield?
Yes.
Okay, more information to follow. Thanks for coming. All agenda items have been addressed as published, and the Sarpy County and City's wastewater